Great. Okay, so I will repeat it again, right? So user is nothing but a physical entity, and user, right, could have varied responsibilities, and as per that responsibilities, right, we will provide them access. Now, there is something called groups. What is groups? You can think, right, correlate with the operating system groups also. So group is something like, right, you told about, right? For example, Deepak is an administrator, right? Say Sonia is a developer, say Rajiv is a tester. Okay, similarly, there could be many users which are tester, developer, right, or administrator. So they fall to certain groups. So I can create a group and assign, right, access permission to that group. And whatever the permission I have applied to groups will be applied to those users. So user could be part of a specific group. Make sense? Make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Now, there is something called, right, roles. Okay. Do you know what roles is? Can anyone tell me? What could be roles?
Roles means the specific permission assigned to that group or user.
Okay. So roles could be something, right, in which I will aggregate permissions, right? I can create a role which contain different kind of permission. For example, I am a user who want to access, say, a compute, right, some storage, some databases, some analytical services, like QuickSight and all that. Now, I don't want to give full-fledged permission to user for all those services. So I might create, right, certain permissions related to S3. I will create certain permission related to EC2. I can create certain permission related to QuickSight. And I will, right, attach all those permission that I've created to a typically called role. So role is actually, right, containing all those broken permissions, right, in a single entity called roles. Now roles define what, right, a particular user, right, with whom this role is attached can, right, do activity. So I can attach, right, this role to certain services, right, for particular user, so that he has a limited access to that particular services. So obviously, in roles, right, I need to define something called policies of permission. So everywhere we are talking about what user also restricted access to permission, groups also, right? So obviously they all actually uses a terminology or entity in AWS. We call them what? Policies. So policies is nothing but what you can think of what permission. So policies define what permission, right, for a particular service would be there, and all this will be applied to user group and, right, roles. Okay? Typically, this is what, right, you should. On this. So these are the policies that you will define, and these policies, right, will be assigned either directly to user group or through roles to those entities. Now, is this clear theoretically?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect.
What is difference between this policies and rules?
So I told you, right, there are certain permissions, right? For example, I want a user to have only, right, you can say read only permission to a particular entity, right? Not write permission. Just think like that. And similarly, in another service, I want, right, user would have all the services, like all the CRUD operations he can do, right? Read, write, kind of operation can do. So all this definition where I will define in policies.
Okay.
right? And these policies can be right a part of roles, and roles can be applied to those entities. Now you clear?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. Now I will right go to IAM management, and I hope most of you have created user and all that, right? You tried through the documentation maybe. So I'm going to right talk in that term only, and I will show you what policies, right? How the policy contents are, right? For example, I create a user. So this is say my user, and I created a user name called say Ansible, or I can create any Terraform, whatever, right? And say I want to give this user right only a programmatic access. So can you anyone tell me what is difference between programmatic access and AWS management console access?
Programmatic access means it will be CLI or the API access, and the AWS management console access means the normal one, like we are logging to the console, that one.
So programmatic generally straightforward means right using some right programs that you want to right interact with AWS services, right? And how you can interact using programs with AWS services? Either you will right use certain APIs, right? Or how right this Terraform Ansible right uses basically right to connect to AWS and do right whatever desired state maintenance they want to do. Similarly, yes, we can connect right through our AWS CLI, and through CLI, right, we can connect to AWS, and right, we can have a session maintained, right? And in that session, right, we can able to right fire or interact through command line, right? Interfaces, or you can say commands, we can interact with the services. For example, I want to see write my S3 bucket. I want to write create an S3 bucket. So all I can do right through programmatic access also, or any AWS services, right? Which supports basically you can say programmatic access. So most of the managed services, right, or which are in right already given to user or general available, right, have this right console access, or through software development kit, right, or through API that you can right easily connect to right AWS services. They have created in that way, right? They are service API based right entities which have been created by AWS. And console access is what? Through UI interface, right? When you right use those services. For example, right now I'm connected to IAM using what? A console based access. If you want to give them, right, obviously you can select that and you can create a custom password for that user, and that user would be able to log in. So a user can have both programmatic access and AWS management. So for example, I want a custom password. Say I created say some password for this user. Okay. I don't want a reset. Okay, and I set a custom password which I remember, right? I will able to log in through that also. Now comes permission, right? Here the policies right will come in picture. Now either you can attach this user to a particular group, and that group would have what? Some permission applied. Therefore, right, say add user to the group, so that whatever permission to the group is there will be applied. For example, no, I don't want right to add this user to a group, but I want to right attach certain policies directly to this particular user. So I can go here, right, attach existing policies. Now see, there are different kind of right AWS managed right policies are defined. So there are two kind of policies there, right? Can anyone tell me? I told one managed policy. Another is what?
Custom policies.
And those are known as what in AWS terminology?
Uh,
Inline, inline
Inline
policy, right?
policy, yeah,
Inline
which
policy.
we can create.
So you can create your policies yourself, right? And right can attach. So custom means what? Whatever level of access. For example, I want this user, right, S3 full access, or I want right S3 read only access. See, both of these policies have two different things. Let's see right what these policies contain, so that you will understand. Okay, both the policies I will open here. पॉलिसी कुछ नहीं है, मतलब लेवल ऑफ परमिशन आपने दिखाया जो मैंने आपको अभी ये कैसे किस फॉर्मेट में डिफाइंड है देखो, ये फुल परमिशन है। तो अगर आप देखोगे जेसन में, राइट, तो जेसन में क्या बोला है? इफेक्ट अलाउ S3 colon star, so S3 port cat whatever out there, right, is allowed to this particular right policy is created, and this policy can be right applied to a user, a group, or a particular right embedded into a role. Okay, you can add it this policy if you have created inline policy, you can write add it policy as per your requirement. Now if you say the read only, see, read only allowed two actions, get and list. Beside that, right, put and all those are not allowed, right? If I apply right S3 read only access. Is this clear? Yes, Vishal Kokad, you have
Deepak,
some question.
just show us full access again.
Okay, here.
Here in action, एक्शन में जो दिया है
Hmm.
S3 दिया है और ये
Hmm.
रीड ओनली में जो दिया है उसमें S3 गेट एंड लिस्ट.
So get and list are what kind of a read operations only, right? User is not able to edit anything, right? You can check the right what are the right files inside the bucket, okay, folders and files inside bucket, and he can write get them, but he cannot edit them, right, or put them, right, or create a bucket and create a right folder inside a bucket, or create a bucket and put some folder. Those operations this user cannot do, right? Read only access user.
So here finds the options. Yeah,
Yes.
but here I can see get start. So start signifies the options of get
No,
command, or
yeah, there are multiple right get operations. For example, let me show you. This is something right that I have to show you. Let me open a new tab. So I know get, there are multiple gets operation, right? It's not about only one get, right? There are multiple get. Okay. So for example, if I create a policy, and see there are two way, either you can use a visual editor or either can you use a JSON, right? Directly copy a JSON from somewhere and create. So for example, I use this visual editor and choose the S3 service. Okay. And now you can get multiple right options. Now in list, you can see right there are list all my bucket, list bucket version, right? These are the various operations, right? Correct.
okay.
So that's way, right? Now in read, right, you will see get different kind of get operations, right? Get bucket policy, get bucket public access, get access point, get access, right? So all those which are related to get, right, will be allowed here, right? And all related to list, right, will only, right? And these are falls under right read only operations. Is it clear now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And see, if I create right from this, right, I am actually creating what an inline policy that is right user has created, and then right I will apply right it into that. Okay. Now I'm in user creation, right, and say I give myself right administrator access. Okay. I'm going to give right full permission. So see, users permission policy 6, right? And if you want to see the access, it has all the permission, right? Now tell me what is this permission boundary? देखो यहाँ पे बहुत अच्छे से समझा के लिखा हुआ भी है कि
To control users maximum permission
yes,
or to give the user with the minimal access, whatever you
अगर मान
require.
लो मैं एक नॉर्मल राइट यूजर हूँ और मैंने अपनी पॉलिसीज बनाए और पॉलिसीज अटैच कर दिए, बट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन नहीं चाहता, राइट? ऑर्गेनाइजेशन चाहता है कि नहीं, right, as per security norms of compliance, this right all access should be applied. So you as per the risks, right, you can define right whether a low risk permission boundary, medium risk, or high risk permission boundaries, right? And those permissions are nothing but some rules created, right? In those rules, right, all those right definition of allow and deny would be there, and you are going to you can attach those rules out here. Okay, so you're right, basically right to control right user actions, we right set permission boundary. And these are the very concepts, right, which are very important while working in AWS organization. These are very basics, but right, it has a lot of value and meaning, right, while working in an organization. Okay, now I will move ahead tag you can give, right? It's for me optional also, right? And I'm not going to fill it. Now I'm going to create this user, and right while creating user, what will happen? If I click on this, what should I, what would I will get?
User will be created, and you will be getting the
Since I have used programmatic access, so I will get access key ID and
KID and secret key.
key ID. I will create this user. Okay, and open a notepad. I will see, never ever display, right, access ID, right, or this secret access key, right, to anyone. Okay, never, whether it's your friend or whatever, right? Your friend might by mistake, right, share somewhere else, and right, you will get right in trouble in terms of someone, right, using your account or doing something mischievous which is not required. I'm not downloading this and just making, right, this secret key, access key ID and secret access key, right, copied. In my recording it will be visible, but I will delete it, right, so that it will not be usable anymore later. And same practice you should also do. You can download CSV also, right, and use it on regular basis, right, but don't share with anyone. Okay, now I will close it. Okay, now my user has been created. First I will check whether I can do programmatic access or not, right? So either you can use your console URL, right, or you can use this account ID, right, for logging into that particular, with that particular user. So for example, I will use this here, another browser, aws.amazon.com. My account, let me pull it down somewhere. So there is root user, right? And now I'm going to use IAM user. So I clicked on IAM user. This is the 12-digit account ID I copied, right, from my root account that I have. Okay, and then I will click on next. Say my username is what? Ansible. And my password that I have given, right, for console access is this. Okay, and I'm just logging in. Now see, I'm able to log in, right, using this particular user also. Okay, so in that way. Now question was that I have got from many of you, right? So whether I should, while doing my lab, either should I use root account or basically this kind of, right, a user, I will create user. Doesn't matter actually while learning, right? But in organization it do matter, right? Because every user would have limited right access, and as per that organization is giving you right access as a user or certain roles, or you can say some SAML right integration would be there. As per the SAML role, right, your account would have right limited access to you, right, for certain services. But yes, for learning it doesn't matter, right? You can try, right, for certain users with limited permission, and try to do programmatic access so that you will get error like, right, access denied for this particular action. So all those you can try for learning. Okay, I hope right I answered most of your question. So should I practice with root account or a user, created user, doesn't matter. Okay, for learning point of view, agree or not, guys?
Yeah. Yes.
I just agree.
Yeah, now let's do the programmatic access part, how to, right, do that or achieve that. Okay. So first of all, I will use my Ubuntu subsystem. Okay, and here, okay, I will use I will check whether right my AWS right CLI is installed or not. So if I see tab, I can see right I can run AWS commands, right? I can see right I can run AWS commands here because I get AWS. So but for you to install, right, you should use what, sudo, if you are using Ubuntu, apt-get install AWS CLI, right? Sorry, it is not dash, it is with. So it is see, right, asking me, right, to right run maybe right new features. I'm not going to install, okay, because I want to use my right AWS console. I don't want to change my system, but everyone right run this command if you're using Ubuntu system to right check the programmatic part, access parts through console. So AWS CLI right need to be installed, or you can also install using right if you have Python 3 sudo pip3 install right AWS CLI.
We can install this AWS CLI and Windows platform also, right? Windows
Yes,
system.
yes. Anywhere,
But
right?
only
Anywhere.
command differs.
Only command would differ, right?
Okay.
Using pip, right? You can install through right the command prompt or PowerShell, right? Just like I did in Ubuntu. Okay. So see, for me, right, it's already installed, right? Already satisfied means, right? My AWS right, is there. Okay. I hope this part is clear to everyone, right? How to install, right? If it is Red Hat system, you will use which command? Yum command instead of what? apt-get command. Okay, perfect. Now I'm going to do right something called AWS configure. AWS configure, right? After
This is
installing this utility, I will do what?
okay.
AWS configure.
This is to configure the CLI credentials.
Now see, it is asking me, right? Basically, changing my earlier I had configured something, right? AWS access key ID for my default. So I'm going to right now change it. So what I have stored here, right? This is what my access key is. So I'm going to pass it to my right access key given. अब secret key देना है. अभी पूछा default region name EU West 1, right? So मैं यहाँ पे लिखूंगा no, I will use what default. ठीक है, मैं किस पे कर रहा हूँ? डिफॉल्ट उस पे कर रहा हूँ, but okay, मैंने यहाँ पे स्पेसिफाई किया है EU West 1 for example, right?
Yes.
So you have to give your reason name that if you do you want, right, whatever where you want to use it. Say let it, I want to keep it EU West 1. Okay, अगर आपको चेंज करना आप चेंज कर सकते हो, जैसे US East 1, right, whatever. So in your case also don't change it, it will take default, right? In my case I have set it, so let it be. Okay. Default output format is what? JSON. So मैं I am using say JSON में आउटपुट JSON में चाहिए, अगर आपको अलग फॉर्मेट में चाहिए आप चेंज कर सकते हो, YAML कर सकते हो, ठीक है? So I am not writing here also anything. So I had configured my right. Now where it went, कहाँ पे ये configure हुआ, इसके details कहाँ गए होंगे? Anyone aware of that file? It generally goes to
Slash
your
etc.
it goes to your home
Yeah.
directory.
Yes.
That is tilde. Tilde represents what? Your home directory. My home directory is what in my case? If I do right, echo $home dir. If it is defined, it is not defined here. I will check. It is not defined. So I will do what? CD tilde and I will do pwd. So this is my home directory. Home, right? / deepak s. Okay, this is my home directory. Now,
So this means first time we given this AW means access key and secret access key, na, it will get stored in a session or every time we have to pay.
see, if you are using same credential, AWS, right? Then right, it will always be there, right? Because you have. But an organization they right do what? SAML integration, right? With your access
Yes.
key ID. So obviously they would be for limited for 1 hour or 2 hour, right? How they have configured it. After that, you have to right generate your security credentials and right configure it again. Make sense?
Yes.
How to configure on Windows?
Same PowerShell या आपके राइट कमांड प्रॉम्प्ट से ये AWS configure मारना है.
Okay.
No difference. Okay. Now let's see right where it configured. I told you it configures in your home directory. There is a hidden directory created called AWS dot AWS, right? Hidden dot से start हो रहा है AWS. उसके अंदर क्या होगा? Credentials. इसमें जाओगे. I have so many right entries out there. Now I have my I will do what VI it so that I can show you where my entry went, right? So I am doing Vim, right? And I will search for my this key where it is. So this is here, right? Here it is configured, and so this is not a correct way of doing it. In my case, I need to create a default section, right? So यहाँ पे गड़बड़ हो जाएगा मेरे केस में, क्योंकि I have a different right way of accessing. तो इसने गलती से AWS access की इसको दे दिया और यहाँ पे सेशन टोकन ले लिया. तो मैं इसको क्या करूँगा, इसको हटा दूंगा और ये मेरा डिफॉल्ट है. ये जो ऊपर में ये नाम है ना, ये जो दिख रहा है, ये क्या है? प्रोफाइल है. ठीक है. तो मेरा जो प्रोफाइल है वो क्या है? डिफॉल्ट. आप लोग जब कॉन्फ़िगर करोगे तो आपका डिफॉल्ट प्रोफाइल ही कॉन्फ़िगर होगा. ठीक है. एंड आई कैन चेंज माय रीजन आल्सो हियर इफ आई वांट. बट आपको करने की जरूरत नहीं, जो मैं कर रहा हूँ. यू डोंट नीड टू डू इट. आप जैसा मैंने आपको बोला वैसे ही करना. आपका डिफॉल्ट ही सेक्शन राइट होगा. मैंने यूएस ईस्ट वन
मीन्स हम लोग प्रोफाइल भी क्रिएट कर सकते हैं, मल्टीपल प्रोफाइल्स, राइट?
yes, you can create multiple different profiles also, right? Just what I have done.
Okay.
Okay, now I have done this. Now since I have set right my default one, so if say for example if I do AWS S3 LS, so it says right unable to locate credentials, you can configure by running AWS configure. So हमने configure तो कर दिया है, but हमने कोई मैंने बोला था प्रॉब्लम देगा मेरे को, क्योंकि इन माय केस राइट इट्स डिफरेंट. बट लेट्स डू वन थिंग. AWS प्रोफाइल सेट कर देते हैं. देयर इज अ वेरिएबल कॉल्ड AWS प्रोफाइल कंट्रोल और अंडरस्कोर. See, now it started working, right? So if you have multiple profile and your AWS profile is not set right to the section right that we had defined, so it will not go right. It will right search for anyone right, and it will say it's not credit, right? So I did what? I set a variable. Windows में करना होगा तो export की जगह कौन सा command होगा? Set command होगा. SET set command. Okay. Set AWS profile equal to whatever value. Now what is this? Can anyone tell me? ये क्या output आया? ये output ये आया. If I go to my S3 service,
On the bucket name.
yes, correct. So obviously, how I can able to access right from my system, which is our right internet, right, and right able to right list me the buckets which are there in my AWS account. Obviously, I have given what programmatic credentials. So see, these are all my buckets created here, right? And this is what is shown here also. Similarly, if you go to right AWS command line documentation of S3, you can try anything that you want, right? Creating S3 command CLI commands. I'm not going to right teach you. You have to explore yourself. But for Unix, I will have one session right on command concepts for everyone, right? And one VI demo, right? I'm going to take right when I will before starting my Python session. so that because we will be using right Unix console only. So you can see right here all the command related details would be there, right? What commands you can use, right, is here. So you have to spend some time, right, reading them, right, and trying, right, all this command like how to do a CP, how to create a bucket, right, MB. There is an MB option, right, to create a bucket. This all right available command like MB, MV, right, design, RB, RM, sync, website, right. This all commands, this only command you have to read, right, and you are okay with S3, and S3 concepts you have to obviously read, right, which I will take, right. And S3 there are many things. So I was actually showing you what मैं क्या बताना चाह रहा था ओवरऑल ये करके एनीवन
How to log in for a programmable interface.
हाँ प्रोग्रामेटिक
Programmatic
एक्सेस
access.
कैसे कर सकते हैं नाउ अगर मान लो इस यूजर का जो भी यूजर बनाया मैंने ठीक है मैं वापस से आऊंगा where is IAM? Yeah. ये पॉलिसी मैं हटा देता हूँ डिटैच करके ठीक है उस यूजर के परमिशन में जाके मैंने डिटैच कर दिया डिटैच इज व्हाट डिलीटिंग ठीक है नाउ आई एम गोइंग टू ऐड इनलाइन पॉलिसी राइट सी मैंने ना EC2 और EC2 में भी मैंने इसको सिर्फ सिर्फ लिस्ट परमिशन दिया और इसमें मैंने why that's what I'm worried about क्यों ऐसा करता है वो बहुत स्लो है ठीक है मैंने सिर्फ लिस्ट एक्शन लिया इसको रिव्यू किया इस पॉलिसी को तो यहाँ पे मुझे रिव्यू पे दिखाएगा कैपेसिटी रिजर्वेशन आई डोंट वांट
Deepak, you have to choose a resource. It was
oh yeah
showing error.
yeah so this one uh, now it's 33 warning I have selected right this EC2 permission the policy container you are required to choose a resource right permission that you can assign to a user group or role so I have choose a resource right that is my EC2
Action also you have to specify it like star or means all the actions you want to give for.
so here uh, these are all the resources I have selected everything then why it should have the problem capacity reservation resource four more actions I got it I don't have to right I have to give all resources here I don't want to be very specific okay
Yes.
and here I just want not all EC2 and say I just want to give a list okay that's it okay I will review my policy okay this is only EC2 list operation is there okay yes Prashant if you have any question please tell me
So
right
I would like to know, can I
Mm.
do something like that? Say, for example, I have multiple projects are there,
Mm.
and for each project, I have multiple resources like multiple EC2, RDS,
Mm.
and this kind of S3 buckets as well.
Mm.
So what I want is I want to give a specific, rather to select each one individually resources. I just directly select a project name or kind of a group resource,
Yeah, you can do that,
and
no? You can do that, but for that you have to create, right? Project specific details, right? Or policies.
Okay.
Right? That's what the permission boundary also, right, specify for the organization. You can keep for that for the project also. So
Okay.
first of all, when
So
you are automating, right, or doing some automation, sorry for stopping you, but when you are creating automation, or you are doing some automation related to your AWS for certain project, so you have to identify what should be accessed, what should not be accessed. As per that, you will define what your IAM policies, right,
okay.
and
Okay.
roles specific to that project, right. So obviously, first you will roll out what your roles, and
Mhm.
then you will create resources and attach those roles to your specific resources.
Okay, so question is, I can create some project, and under that project, I can assign some resources, right?
Yes,
And
yes.
then after, I can do like setting up permissions over here, that what they
So
can do and what not.
typically, I would tilt the way, right? First, I will define my project's baseline, okay?
Okay.
And my project baseline will contain, how, my security and everything, is maintained,
Mm-hmm.
right? If it is not properly maintained, if it is not already defined, after creating resource, you will going to create issues, right? Later. है ना,
Yes.
वो इससे अच्छा पहले डिफाइन करना है अपने को, वो सब बेसलाइन चीजें जो है ना, बेसलाइन थिंग, उसको फिर
Okay.
डिप्लॉय करना है, और उसके ऊपर रिसोर्सेज बना के उसको क्या करना है, उसके साथ एसोसिएट कर देना है. दिस शुड बी द
Okay.
अप्रोच.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, now I'm going to create a policy, and it says, see, as you not authorized to perform IAM put user policy on resource user. So this is what is very important. तो ये कौन कर पाएगा? मैं किस यूजर से कर रहा था? एनसिबल यूजर से कर रहा था,
You need to log
Yes,
in
for
right? So you can see how identity access management restrictions are placed, and this is what when you do command line access, और आपने Ansible यूजर को लिमिटेड एक्सेस दिया और वहां से आप S3 LS करोगे, तो वो सेम इस तरह का ना आपको एरर देगा. ठीक है, नॉट होता है, तो इस एरर से आपको समझ में आ जाएगा, ओ यस आई मिस दिस परमिशन, सो यू विल गो एंड पुट दोस राइट so those permission to that particular users ना, अगर मान लो चाहिए तो. नहीं देना है तो obviously your error is a perfect error ना, यही चाहते थे आप. Is this clear?
yes,
Now
Yes.
my assignment to every one of you is to mimic this, right? First you have to give some access to user which he should be able to access. Typical example, आपको पहले एक user बनाना है और उसको permission होना चाहिए कि वो bucket create कर सके. ठीक है, आपको उससे बकेट क्रिएट करवाना है और वहां पे बकेट आपको दिखना चाहिए इस तरह पे जो उसने बकेट क्रिएट किया है. ठीक है, क्लियर है ये बात, ये जो मैंने बोली है स्टेटमेंट?
yes,
Yes.
ठीक है, उसके बाद
Yes.
सेम यूजर को आपको क्या कर देना है, रेस्ट्रिक्ट कर देना है बकेट क्रिएट करने से, और उसके बाद वापस से जाके बकेट क्रिएट करके देखना है और आपको क्या एरर आता है कंसोल पे वो शो करना है. ठीक है,
yes,
Yes.
so do this exercise guys, it will help you a lot. And remember, we generally this is what I have faced problem, and I am telling you, right? So initially when I also land up in an AWS project, I generally jump into I would say good overall good knowledge of AWS services, but I was not had that gone through the IAM at that time, and I faced literally issues doing certain tasks which were most related to IAM policy. So I had to literally spend hours to understand. But if I have given some time to have gone through all the IAM related things, it had been an easier ride for me in that particular project that I was doing. तो ये जो चीजें हैं ये बेसिक्स होती है, हम उसको स्किप कर देते हैं, हम सोचते हैं नहीं ये तो वही है, एक्सेस पॉलिसीज ही हैं, बट ऐसा नहीं है, इसके अंदर बहुत सारे चीजें हैं. नाउ आई विल यूज सर्टेन टर्मिनोलॉजीज लाइक डिटरमिनिस्टिक नेम ऑफ द पॉलिसीज. मतलब आप में से किसी ने पूछा था ना प्रोजेक्ट स्पेसिफिक, हाउ यू कैन क्रिएट अ डिटरमिनिस्टिक पॉलिसीज. डिटरमिनिस्टिक मीन्स व्हाट, आप नाम से उसको आइडेंटिफाई कर लो, है ना,
Okay.
राइट. अगर कोई होता है हम जनरल ऐसा ही कुछ बना देते हैं, वो क्या है, उसको कोई आइडेंटिफाई नहीं कर सकता, है ना, किसका. तो what are this deterministic and non-deterministic thing, now also look around, there are role based access control, RBAC, or access based ABAC. RBAC and ABAC. These are the two terminologies I am using, right? Note all this down, explore around it. It is not something a mentor or teacher, right, can guide you. They are very basic general statements, right, as per that. But when this comes in actual exercise and कोई आपको use करेगा and you are not aware, right, अरे मैंने पढ़ा क्यों नहीं इसके बारे में, ऐसा ऐसा लगेगा. आपको पता था लेकिन आप राइट उस समय उस सिचुएशन को हैंडल नहीं कर पाए. ठीक है, तो प्लीज गो थ्रू दिस. व्हाट आर ABAC, राइट, access based, right, control policies, right, and RBAC role based. ठीक है, तो ये concepts हैं, right, IAM related, जो आपको go through करने चाहिए. Okay, I hope guys this part is clear to every one of you. Is it?
Yes, yes.
Okay, now I will not continue further, guys. Reason behind, I don't know about internet access and everything, but what we did achieve today, right? It's very related to how the path, our path should be ahead, right? तो अभी क्या हमने अब आपको EC2 पे access करना आ गया है, right? आप access कर सकते हो. कईयों को तो पहले से ही पता होगा. I am aware. Now you are now aware of one service called, right, IAM policies, है ना? तो ये IAM पॉलिसीज के बारे में आपको पढ़ना है और जो एक्सरसाइज मैंने बताए हैं वो करने हैं कमेंट लाइन पे. यस विशाल, यू हैव रेज क्वेश्चन, प्लीज आस्क योर क्वेरी.
Actually, Deepak, yesterday I have created EC2 instance, and after that I took the console access from SSH from Putty. Okay, but I installed the another package like XRDP, and I'm trying to take RDP of that Ubuntu OS. So I'm not able to take access of that.
So means
I have
from
allowed
where?
it. I have allowed it in security group also.
Can you show me or right display me what you are trying to do?
Sure.
Let me make you right temporary.
Can I share it now?
I'm giving you right permissions. Okay, I'm making you host. Okay, I made you host. Yeah, Vishal. Now can you share your screen? Mm-hmm. What is this session XOR?
I took XRDP, X11 RDP.
You know this X11 is not enabled in that VM.
Okay, so that is
X11, you know, X11 is what?
X11 is a genome desktop.
Genome, right? Graphical interface. Those are not right actually enabled in right those VMs, right? They provide. You have to use either right or implement right X11 in enablement in right those remote VMs. But I am pretty sure right they will not right give that or right वहाँ पे है नहीं. तो obviously क्या होगा जब आप इसे करोगे तो एक graphical interface खुलेगा ना उस Ubuntu का. करेक्ट राइट, बट वो इनेबल्ड ही नहीं है राइट आपके VM पे, एंड दैट इज द मेन
Right.
रीजन बिहाइंड राइट. दो यू आर अलाउइंग इट, इट इज नॉट एबल टू राइट ब्रिंग इट अप.
Okay.
ओके,
Deepak, I guess we can do this, right? XRDP, we can take it. It's just the permissions, right? In the security group level already he given, and he
but
installed in the means top of the EC2 instance.
if it is installed then yes, if XRDP is so can you try?
Yeah. Whether you, Vishal, you installed on the top of the EC2 instance, right? This XRDP.
Yes.
Yeah, then you should able to take that.
Then do X11 RDP, select that,
And
give
what
the same
username?
user Ubuntu and
Ubuntu.
right. Password is what you have created some password there.
Yes. Yes.
You.
ये इतना ही आता है, इसके बाद कुछ नहीं आता है. कंसोल ही नहीं मिलता मुझे.
मतलब कनेक्ट तो हो रहा है. इतना तो
connect
है
हो रहा है।
हाँ
हम्म,
इसमें
Then may,
राइट क्लिक करके देखो कुछ तो वहाँ पे मतलब आई एम टेलिंग यू राइट इट्स द बेसिक प्रॉब्लम ऑफ दैट पर्टिकुलर इमेज और VM राइट that you are using there.
no, nothing is happening.
वो इतना मतलब सॉलिड राइट वो नहीं है मतलब जिस पे इनेबल्ड है राइट आपको अच्छा जो राइट कोई ऐसा इमेज लेना पड़ेगा जिस उसके बारे में पढ़ो आपकी XRDP इनेबल्ड इमेजेस कौन से हैं ठीक है तो वो पढ़ो आई डोंट थिंक T2 माइक्रो में आप
yes,
कर पाओगे वो
Okay.
ठीक है
maybe AMI change करके देख लो
हाँ हाँ
Ubuntu की
एक बार
तो
Amazon AMI यूज करके देखना आई वुड से rather right which is a bit customized right for Amazon or I will also do one thing I will also give you maybe certain blogs right if they have done right and there you will get right a specific reason मेरे को I am pretty sure it's about right the services that it want to right the need there in that right image is not there and therefore you are only able to connect but not use all the services right or all the related things right which required right while using RDP connecting to them okay but anyway Vishal this is interesting right and what you're doing is good right commendable try you should try everyone should try certain kind of these things right well,
Can I stop sharing?
yeah you can yeah any more questions no more questions so say regarding video I will share right by Monday EOD okay all these videos related to DevOps fundamentals yesterday's session today's session okay and I'm also going to give you certain handouts related to AWS right for practice
okay.
purpose if you get time do yourself and that those I am going to perform right in the class also okay so dirty your hand so while making your hand dirty what happens right you have more questions right and questions are always good right to learn okay anything else guys
Deepak, assignment is like to create an. Can you repeat this? Can you?
Okay, let me repeat the assignment, Saket. Assignment is this: you have to create a user which should have a permission to create bucket.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
you have to create bucket, right?
Okay.
Using creating that user with permission. After that, you have to edit the user's permission, right? Where user should not have edit permission and do the same activity of create bucket
All right. Okay.
and see what error generally come, right? While creating bucket
Okay.
second time.
Okay. Got it.
Okay.
Good.
Okay, then thank you everyone. Thanks for your time and sorry for right this week's hiccup. I really right sorry for that.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks. Thanks.
Thanks.
Okay. Bye guys.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.